necessity. Unless you want us to elaborate further on one or the other detail, if not, feel free to go ahead with your questioning while we fill some water in the vessel.
All right, and Lisa, you're up first.
Wait. Oh, well, I was just going to ask a question. Am I able to be heard? I didn't check first.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
Okay, great. Greetings, KALASK. Strength and honor.
Greetings, the Lisa person, yes.
Yes. We were just talking about what we were just. Oh, shit. I was going to have a question about. No, it's so funny. It keeps on happening to me. When I want to ask you a question or something, and then it like goes away. But you were just talking about. I was thinking that something changes because of. Anyways, can you tell me exactly what we were just talking about? The last part. Oh shit. Hold on a second. Either way, I'm just going to continue. And I think things also change because it's how we feel about it. So then we create it. And yeah, anyway, so, but that wasn't even it. Hi, how are you? You're collective. I'm excited. I know I speak with you guys quite often, not just through David, but how are things going with you guys there?
Yes.
What are you doing? What are you concentrating on, and focusing on right now?
Well, right now, we're focusing always on integrating your frequencies, but when you're asking the question, right? Interacting with us, you're always interacting with a version of us that's more or less interpreting your frequencies as a collective, as a species, right?
That's one of the ones I was going to ask about. Continue.
Right. You also sort of a particular person, contact person to some degree, as you're aware, the messy person is a certain individual, more or less of a special, etc. There's also a female of the species that's more directing with you when you're directly tuned to our frequencies. There's the easiest, the most conductive to such a direction. So therefore you also might have a more personal interaction, if you wish. Now,
yes.
Certainly. Also due to your dialing of our number or other symbols you wear, for the guy you're creating much more of a presence with, and that's something we greatly recommend to individuals in your species, that wish to ground their frequency more easily as we've done so. As you're aware, your subconscious mind second guesses, is uncertain if there's really a connection to us, so simply using our symbol is a very, very easy way to circumvent that and simply go directly to our frequency, and your subconscious mind will not create any problems, right?
Yes.
It will be more succinct.
It is too. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Cool. So I like the word conflict a little bit more because it's about creating, really.
Correct. Yes.
So
creating is destruction, vice versa.
Yes, and so that is quite great. And then also there was another word. I've been using the word utilize more often because everything that I'm seeing or bringing in, it's for me to utilize. I like that word. It's like a tool is a good one too, but I've been utilizing the things that I've been bringing in, that they are a benefit for me. If I decide at the moment that I don't actually want to do that one, I just go to the one that I'm more conducive with, or that I'm creating or wanting at that moment, and I'm utilizing my shit.
Yes. Your reason it appears in your reality in the first place because there's something you can get from it.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I've been really feeling. And it's like, I've been thinking like, because I was coming more from the victim part, and
Yes.
now I'm not coming from that anymore. I'm more empowered, and I'm seeing that the things in front of me are things that I'm seeing and doing that's for me. I mean, why wouldn't it be? And then the things that end up coming up like trauma and whatnot, those were just things that were burying and that I didn't really want to look at. So going through them and looking at them and letting them come up it changes uh, my outlook or how I feel about things. Yes.
You're simply integrating more of your consciousness, which is aware of all of this at all times.
Wonderful. Which kind of brings up the dragon. Is their energy is that, I mean, really, it's like a reptilian that's able to fly, right? I mean, it besides that, is the frequency different, or because they're non-physical mostly?
Well, there are many stories in mythologies, many of them are referring simply to us. There are indeed beings that are, well, what you might consider perhaps a higher consciousness of a reptilian species, which you could also term as such. Many of the stories in your mythologies also found their ways there, not from physical interacting with those entities, but simply from having a connection with them that are not physical, that are what you then would consider dragonic, etc. And most stories in your mythology simply refers to our species. In general.
So is it because, did we put wings on them maybe because it's more of a non-physical or air or something? I mean, in a way, even though there are some that have obviously wings, but the symbolism of wings, I was wondering if that was put in there for that, but it's actually, reptilian. So.
There are some that have wings, yes. However, non-physical everything is malleable, and the reason it's been put in your mythology often simply referring to the fact that beings came from the sky, right? And landed, and that's the reason it being depicted with wings. But one doesn't equal out the other, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yes. So there was a video, or the last session that we had. You spoke on so many things and information that I wanted to know about. And so then I didn't know how to respond because it was just so much. But also at the same time, there was someone that came through the line, a reptilian, or sounded like an alligator. Do you remember this?
We're aware of what you're referring to, but we are not aware if there was any entity on our end interacting with the communication, perhaps on yours.
Wow. What would that mean then? Like, I mean, because it was there. I mean, you can hear it on the recording. It'd be like a dragon or a crocodile alligator when they're making their sounds, and it was pretty prominent. So I was thinking, because it was you were explaining to me about the non-physical, that when I'm out in nature, that it may not be like an alligator or a snake, but it'd be more non-physical. And then that's when the sound came through.
Very possible you manifested, you attracted something in your physical reality to some degree, or from the non-physical, or whatever called such, it was a symbolization or a manifestation of what you were pulsing out, as you always do.
Wow. And so yeah, it's pretty awesome for me to actually see that I'm doing that, and on a more consistent basis, and seeing it and acknowledging it. And it brings up the responsibility part. Like, I'm actually doing this, and I do everything. And
Yes, indeed. It doesn't mean you need to be consciously aware of it all times and counter check everything, right?
yes, exactly. That kind of screws it up.
Yes. And you can trip over. But more the idea of just being in the moment and just focusing what you want to create and let the details smooth out.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So, Christy, how many minutes do I have? I'm just going to speak with KALASK most likely.
Yeah, you probably have about 20 or just shy of that.
Holy crap. I mean, that's great. 20 more minutes?
It's like 27 per person.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Awesome. Okay. So maybe not. Okay.
But you're
I
not
did
speaking with Maytax, so that's why.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Thank you, Christy. KALASK, there was a couple of questions I did want to ask about my connection with the military. And I know that all things are happening at once. It's pretty much like I don't have like details, and so just kind of putting connections together and going with it. And I do see sometimes it activates codes or different things that I'm wanting to go more into and whatnot. And why what I'm doing there with the military and or empire, and then yeah. And do you know any info about that?
Well, you are also attracting certain connections from any military, from the empire, from other structures, due to your own consciousness, right?
Yes.
Due to your own pulsation frequencies. In our particular species, you remember, our males, females, etc. hold certain frequency, but in your species are very often more connected to the masculine, or perhaps if you want to your spiritual terminology, where fuck, right? More darker energies, correct?
Okay.
That you are working on to integrate to a large degree. Also, just for your own benefit, but also from others that are lined and linked into those frequencies. And therefore, you keep attracting, of course, certain relations, certain events, experiences that are very much in alignment with such. Now, where you want to take those frequencies entirely up to you. As you're aware, you can utilize everything.
Yes. I know. It's almost like I can answer my own questions. I mean,
you do.
Yes, and you are a part of that, and I utilize KALASK and many others for your knowledge and connection and wisdom and greatness. So wow, okay. So I mean, I really can just really answer my own questions in a way.
You are.
Yeah. Would like through DNA wise, would it be coming more through my dad or my mom when it comes to connecting like military wise? DNA. What?
Well,
So funny. Okay.
you're a mix of certain concepts, but more likely to your masculine frequency, therefore patriarchal line. However, it entirely depends on what you want to see and such, right?
Yes.
There's no need for you to differentiate in this case.
You're right. Yes.
You tune to a certain frequency, right? And then you find ways in the material to relate to it.
Yes, you are correct. Thank you. I do that too anyways. So
Everyone does in some degree, they're just unaware of it.
it's quite
The same way you are pulsing your frequency and then ultimately you're answering your own questions, very much correct, so, right?
yes.
Ultimately, all we are doing is pulsing back those frequencies and sharing our opinion what you're pulsing out back to yourself. because you, from your ego perspective, often don't have the same permission that you have, right? When you are tuned to your, well, into beings like us, for example, then it can bridge a gap. But ultimately, you could do so yourself if you would give yourself the permission, which again could alter your experience of your current reality, because your intellectual mind cannot follow the frequency as smoothly.
Yes, it depends on what I want to do.
Yes. And how adamant you are about it, how much willpower you're putting into it. The more
Yes.
wishy-washy you are, the more you repulse your frequencies in all directions, and you send out one thing and take it back again, etc., etc., so it depends how focused you are.
Yes. Thank you for that. That's
Yes.
and again, like it comes to, I don't even know what to say except for wanting to hear maybe something about like what you
Yes.
would like to express to me or to us at this time, personally.
Personally, yes.
Yeah.
You're somewhat well grounded, personally, right now, but you usually are compared to other members of your species, giving you also an easier way to interact with our frequency, right?
Yes.
One moment, water. Obviously, there's still some work on your third eye, so you're more able to interpret our frequency smoothly, so there's no more the idea of your second guessing yourself, for example, right?
Yes. Agreed.
Quite common, or not something particularly bad.
No, I can see it's more like hesitation or
Yes, your cycle to some degree also, as you were more permanent issue, or you're sending energy back and forth between the two. Between your third eye and sacral, sometimes more than one, sometimes more than the other, sometimes more being an enjoyment of the physical, and other times having an easier time interpreting non-physical frequencies, but alternating.
is there anything that, any tips maybe that I can go, I mean, take a look at on how to, because like I understand that we or I seem to have different things obviously going on with the sacral or the energy there.
Many beings of your species currently have, your current day and age, or under the last few thousands of years, to some degree they are linked to third eye. Remember, all chakras to some degree are linked to the ones, so to speak, that are removed from your center heart, right?
Yeah, okay.
So those two, for example, are linked.
Like the crown and the root chakra would be
Yes, or
linked.
your
Okay.
throat and the solar plexus, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that, I mean, it does
Yes.
yeah, I can. Okay, and just yeah, working through letting things crop up, come up, and just being more smooth about it, not worrying about it because there is no time. And I mean, so
Yes, also just focus energy on there and just let it pour into there. You can use visualization, there are excuses, ultimately just energy in there, and then it will bring up things automatically.
yeah, yeah, and I guess that's probably what happens when it does bring up things. it's almost automatic where you kind of shut it down probably, or do something, or someone walks in, or
You
something makes a
attract
noise.
events, yes.
Yes. So I see that. Yeah.
So if you sell out a certain ideas to something, be it your sexuality, be that your interpretation to the non-physical, or your ideas, prejudices, or interpretations of the non-physical, etc., whatever there is, it's being, of course, brought to the forefront when you're pouring energy there, and then it simply attracts something the physical that is more or less a reflection of what it is, and you're pulsing out the connection to it. When you're pulsing out nothing, then you're perhaps not interacting the experience, but also you're not learning anything, because you simply refuse to put any energy there in the first place, and it's likely a shock reaction. Most of your so-called blockades, or damaged chakra, whatever the fuck you're calling such, all of them, right, are always because you refuse to put energy there, because out of a shock reaction, you decided not to put energy in there whatsoever. Like, for example, you hurt your finger, use a physical metaphor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of, well, admitting that your fingers are bleeding or broken or whatever, you simply refuse to look at it and have any sensation there. You're aware sometimes when you hurt your physical body one way or the other, it becomes numb, right?
Yes.
And when it's numb for too often, it can get fouled, fall off, etc. When there are no nerves in there anymore, extreme case of manifestation of a non-attachment to a part of your body, of course. Now,
Yeah.
the minute one is simply that you are refusing to have energy in the heart. You're withdrawn your life energy from a certain area, and then therefore it's becoming active, and you can pretend there's no stuck energy there, but of course that's when it manifests in subtle ways.
Yes. Yes, it does. And all of it's good, anyways. I mean, for me, it's obviously everything that I'm doing is for me, and so I'm. Yeah, I'm not sure what you know, was afraid of before, or still. That is just me. I was wondering also, like, obviously, when I'm talking with you, I am bringing forth a certain version of KALASK, and so in a way, am I creating you in my reality? Like I'm creating the version of you.
You're creating your understanding of us, yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. That's actually, thank you. That's a very good word. My understanding of you. Yes, I like that a lot. That works. Yeah. For me, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, because I'm doing that with other people that I'm face to face communicating with. I'm creating something that I understand of them. That's why they're there. Cool.
Not just people, everything.
Everything. Yes. Everything.
All experience. You're creating your understanding of the experience of whatever is taking place, whether you're observing, you're creating your understanding of it, which makes it possible for a thing to appear in your reality whatsoever. The same way your eyes are pulsing out light and then basically bring the information back to you, the same thing happens energetically with everything.
Hmm. Appreciations to you, and your energy and your wisdom and everything. Thank you.
Yes, very appreciated.
And I also appreciate myself for actually letting it happen, and
Wonderful.
creating it. So I think that's good for me, and it's good to speak with you again this way, and I will continue to connect with you in other ways. Strength and honor, KALASK.
Strengths, honor, but courage to listen.
Yes, courage, appreciations.
Water for the vessel, and then Ryan's up next.
Hey, greetings, KALASK.
Great.
So like picking up where I left off talking with Metax during the last private session, he mentioned that like reptilians in general. Well, I don't know if he was talking about just your race or reptilians in general, but he was saying like you're in a constant state of stress. Is that? Do you agree with that? Like, do you feel like you're always in a state of stress?
It has festered to some degree. It's become